Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mack. Joining you tonight along with me is my daughter Montana, who I am holding in my arms, sleeping. Trying not to wake her up, but you know what? It's probably going to end up happening anyway. So if you guys hear a baby crying, I apologize ahead of time. But this win is just too fucking big for me not to come on here. Cavs win over the Clippers by the score of 118-108. And man, there are performances from top to bottom to talk about here. Whether it's Jarrett Allen securing yet another double-double in a 20-point, 17 rebound, 3 assist effort out there, just phenomenal basketball. Whether it's the return of Mobley and Mobley putting up 10 points and 9 boards and just 21 minutes of action over this awesome Clippers team. They're deep, man. They're one of the deepest teams in basketball. But as for the Cavs, I truly believe that this team is the deepest in the league. And we didn't even have Darius Garland tonight. Check that out. Recall that Darius is not out there, and this was a win that the Cavs were able to pull out without him. Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 12 assists, 11 to 21 from the field. Didn't necessarily shoot the ball too well from 3-point range, just 2 of 10 on the night. But, man, he just absolutely sliced and diced the Clippers defense. And he made some of the best fucking passes you will ever see. If this wasn't a reactionary pod, I probably would have clipped some already. But, oh, my God. This dude has turned into legitimately if not the best combo guard in the league, he's on that short list of them. He is up there. He should be an MVP candidate. He probably won't get any love, but he is not. He is not. His performances are not lost upon me. This dude is looking like a flat out MVP out there. And what better place to really start a deep discussion tonight than that of Isaac Okoro, who finished finished with 17 points and 3 assists on 5 of 10 from the field, including 3 of 4 from distance. This dude, I said it on social and I'll say it again. Isaac Okoro's shot has improved every single season. His confidence is through the roof right now. He's playing some of the best basketball of his career. I absolutely love it. Not to mention the fact that he is absolutely shutting motherfuckers down. Whoever he is defending, they're going to have a tough day. You might pull one over on them every now and then, but more often than not, Isaac Okoro is going to limit your best perimeter player. That's just what he does. Just an awesome night tonight from Isaac Okoro, and I'm so damn glad he's finally getting the respect that he deserves, because so many people out there, including Cavs fans, well, mostly Cavs fans, just shitting on him, poo-pooing him, saying that we needed to get rid of him, trade him. He was a waste of a draft pick. He's just, this and that. There are just so many things that were said about Isaac Okoro prior to this season. And the thing is with him, the dude just turned 23. Let that sink in. He just turned 23 years old. Cavs fans, I am getting ready to turn 31. I may not look it, but I'm about to turn 31 years old. Isaac Okoro does things on the basketball court that are just phenomenal. People still just do not understand that not all development is linear. So at 23 years old, this man has not even reached anything close to his peak. He's not hit peak athleticism yet. He's not hit his athletic prime, nothing like that. And for people just to immediately write him off as just a wasted draft selection, I never understood that. Not everybody is going to develop at the same rate. Not everybody's going to take that big year 3 leap like we saw with Colin Sexton or with Darius Garland, players like that. But Isaac Okoro, I posted the other day his stats when defending his top 5 matchups, and more often than not, he's going to prove a lot of his doubters wrong. And the one thing that I can say about Ice is that he may not be a star, but he is a star in his role. He stars in his role. He knows his job and he executes it well. He doesn't take shit. He's not a guy who's going to complain about touches. And I love it, man. And Isaac wasn't even the only player in this game to really shut shit down. Evan Mobley, as Fenric Gaming says down here, almost finished with a double-double in just over 20 minutes of action in his return. Yeah, and there was some considerable rust, as Mr. Mack down here, a fellow Mack, I see. Some considerable rust for Mobley. You could tell initially in that first quarter, but as the game went on, I really felt like he actually, got into his rhythm. And the one thing that I think that we were all really watching for was how the reintroduction of Evan Mobley would impact the spacing that this team is kind of located, starting a player like Dean Wade out there. And we're going to talk about Dean Wade here in a little bit, because Dean gave some really, really big minutes tonight, didn't he? Wade coming off that Cavaliers bench in 26 minutes of action. He shot just 2 of 8 from the field, but defensively, I felt like he did a pretty swell job. Similar to Giannis the other night, he draws a tough matchup against the likes of a Kawhi Leonard and Paul George at times. And if you're a basketball fan, if you know anything about basketball, you know that there are just some players out there that you can't necessarily stop. You just kind of contain them, and they're going to beat you on some possessions. And Kawhi Leonard did that tonight to more than a few Cavaliers defenders, but they completely just made his 30 points on the night just out of the question. Cole Noel down here, not to kind of switch gears here, but Cole Noel says Sam Merrill getting only 7 minutes is crazy. Look, dude, I can't complain that much though. Yes, I thought Sam Merrill would have gotten a little bit more run tonight, and I placed a bet on Merrill to drop 2 threes. And I was really hoping that would pull through till the end. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Essentially, JB operated with a 9-man rotation tonight, going with Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, Mack Strus, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Dean Wade, Karis LeVert, and George Niang, all of which played at least 20 minutes. And then you got Merrill down there with 7. So, as much as I want to complain and bitch about the lack of minutes for Merrill, how can I argue against the results? It resulted in a win over one of the best teams in basketball. So I can't complain too much. It's just it's refreshing to see this team go out there on a night-to-night basis and close games out, because last year the Cavs, this is something that they struggled with. If they entered halftime with the lead or they had a big lead in the third quarter, it just kind of felt oftentimes like there was going to be a run by the opposing team and that they could eventually pull within striking distance. And make no mistake, that did happen tonight with the Clippers, but the Clippers are one of the best teams in basketball, and they have some of the best players in basketball in Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Paul George. Still got Russell Westbrook out there. They're a deep team themselves. But how can I complain about anything tonight, rotation-wise, when it still resulted in a victory? The guys that played tonight really, they contributed to that win. Not everybody is going to look like a star out there, but man, everybody did their job, and I absolutely loved it. Karis Levert, let's talk about him for a minute, because a lot of people have been really, 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 really down on the fact that Levert is playing minutes over the likes of Craig Porter Jr., which, I get it. We all want to see CPJ earn some time as the backup point, but when Levert has nights like tonight, you take it, man. And he may not be the best option to run the backup point at all times. And now he won't really have to, especially after the news broke that Darius Garland could potentially return, I believe, on Wednesday against Detroit, which is a whole nother thing within itself. It just makes this team even more deep, which is scary for other teams across the league. But back to my point, it just goes to show that Karis Levert, this is the reason why you have him playing minutes over a player like Craig Porter Jr., because he brings you so many different things. He's so versatile. He can play high-level defense. He can knock down the three ball. He can defend. There are so many things that point to why he is getting minutes out there. And it's the same conversation can be said for Sam Merrill, right? On a night where a player like Isaac Okoro has it going on from three-point range, on a night where Max Strus is actually playing pretty well from three-point distance, there probably won't be as many minutes to go around for those two. And those two, I mean, Merrill and Craig Porter Jr. But my God, there are so many different takeaways tonight that I don't even know really where to start. And I'm struggling to kind of put into words just how high I feel like the ceiling is for this team. I really honestly believe that they are a title contender. It is very, very possible for this team playing this way with this type of rotation to be a title contender this very season. And yes, I know that we still got to go through the likes of Boston. I know that the New York Knicks are there with OG, Julius Randle, who just got hurt and whatnot. There are just there are so many teams in that East that are scary. But as of right now, I feel like the Cavaliers can beat any one of them in a 7-game series, and that includes Boston. I know that's one of them that a lot of people are like, man, the Cavs, they might be deep, but I don't know if they have the available, cachet to go toe-to-toe with them. But I really and truly believe that they can do it, especially playing the way that they are. And I know another thing coming into tonight's game was, how would the minutes distribution look for certain players? And tonight, I got to say, it wasn't one of those games where you're just like, man, everybody played below a certain amount of minutes, because the starters kind of got ridden pretty high tonight. Mitchell played 39, which was expected in a game with this high level intensity. Jarrett Allen played 36, Strus 35, Okoro 33, and then Mobley still on that minutes restriction, obviously coming back in this first game, playing just 21 minutes. A couple of different things that I was looking forward to tonight, but everything that I thought would happen honestly happened, with the exception of the Merrill minutes. I just love it. I see Byra Nepo says, I can't wait for the rematch with the Knicks. I mean, I can't either, man. I said it the other day on X. I truly believe that if you run this same series back between the Knicks and the Cavs this season, I feel like the Cavs, they're not going to sweep them. It would be a really, really good series. But I truly believe in my heart that this Cavs team beats the Knicks if you run it back with this roster. Because last season, the issues were well documented. We couldn't space the floor consistently out of the front court, really all year. Outside of a handful of players, we just couldn't space the floor. We couldn't rebound that well. Newsflash, the Cavs rank in the top 10 in rebounding this season. We didn't have depth. That was a huge issue last year. And then just general inexperience. A lot of these guys never playing in a postseason series or haven't played in many postseason games, period. And it showed in that series. I think it's a complete 180 this year. You now have that experience. You have that depth. You have that ability to space the floor. There are a lot of things that point to a successful postseason run for this team. And I think the biggest question mark now is, can JB Bickerstaff coach in the postseason? I think that's the biggest thing. And all signs from this season, from this stretch, where JB has coached his ass off and deserves every single bit of credit that people are throwing his way now after wanting him fired this past offseason, after that playoff collapse. I feel like he can coach. I feel like he can win a postseason series or two. I feel like that is in his future. I feel like that is going to happen. I really and truly believe he does. And I think that will go a long way in getting Donovan Mitchell to sign on the dotted line, as Finn Reek Gaming suggests down here. I honestly believe that Donovan, I agree with you, Spin. If we keep playing like this and we show Donovan that we can be competitive come the postseason and that we can make some noise, there's no reason that why Donovan wouldn't want to sign here outside of maybe just not preferring Cleveland as a city to live in. Because what basketball reason do you have that suggests, honestly, I want to know from any of you, what basketball reason can we honestly provide to Donovan that suggests that he shouldn't resign here? I can't provide any. I really can't. Let's see here. Talking and Grubbin Media asks, Mack, where do you rank the Cavs in the East? Not the East, it's the East. I rank the Cavs a solid third in the East as of right now. I can't put them ahead of Boston because we haven't quite beaten Boston. I still think Philadelphia has something to say until we can really get past Joel Embiid, who he'd be ducking some of those matchups. I don't get it. He keeps ducking some of the big time matchups, especially Jokic. But yeah, I ranked him third behind Philly and Boston. I think that we are a better team than Milwaukee. I feel like that has been proven over the course of this season. And I feel like what we do uniquely matches up with what they have. Yes, Milwaukee has a ton of length, and you're talking about the likes of Chris Middleton, Giannis, Malik Beasley, and Brooke Lopez and company. They have a ton of length, but Cleveland can now space the floor. They're not weak anymore. They have some toughness to them, and they have depth, and I feel like they are battle tested now. They now know what to expect in a playoff atmosphere. And yes, I know that in Milwaukee, they have some champions still on that roster, and they have championship experience. But I would not rule out this Cleveland team being able to win a 7-game series over Milwaukee. So I truly believe that the Cavs are probably the third best team in the East, and they are a title contender themselves. If anything, it just shows you how deep the East is, right? It is a very, very good conference. I truly believe that any one of these top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference could be representing the East in the finals. As you guys hear my daughter about to go off. I know, baby. Oh, man. As TuneIn says down here, we beat a lot of good teams this season. Yes, we beat the 76ers, we beat the Nuggets, we beat the Bucks, we beat the Clippers, and more are on the way, man. More are on the way. I absolutely, truly believe that this team has what it takes to beat just about anybody on their best day. In a 7-game series, you tell me the team that seriously, no, you are not. In a 7-game series, tell me the team that could reasonably scare you in the East or the West, because I don't see any. I truly call me a homer, say whatever you want to say, but I seriously believe that this team can beat anybody. I truly and honestly believe that. But specifically in reference to tonight's game, there's nothing that you can point to and just really suggest it was a sour point. If you want to talk about free throw disparity, you want to talk about stuff like that, it doesn't even apply tonight because Cleveland actually shot more free throws than the Clippers tonight at 28-26. It's going to have to be short. Yeah, I know. I know. That's how the Clippers feel too. But yeah, man. Yeah. Congratulations, Tyler. Yeah, if you're about to have a child of your own, I have 4 of them. And it's just, potting around them and making sure to trying to schedule these things out doesn't always go as planned, especially when you have big games like the Cavs had tonight. But yeah. Definitely something that tells me that this team can be pushed to the next level. Now, as I said, with Evan Mobley, there was an adjustment period, and including him back into the lineup tonight. There's going to be one when Darius Garland comes back too. I would be remiss if I didn't at least state the obvious here, right? Darius Garland is going to cause yet another adjustment period for this Cavaliers team. That is not a bad thing, though. Not a bad thing in the slightest. It just means that this Cavs team is even more deep, and as long as they can sort things out, which is a job that I do not envy for JB, because that's going to be another tough thing. He's probably going to have to sit somebody else or take minutes away from another deserving candidate, and that always sucks. But these are all professionals here, and as long as they can go along with the understanding that their number can be called upon at any given time, then we're going to be a better team for it. The Cavs have some things to figure out, obviously, once that does happen, and it could happen as soon as Wednesday night. But at the end of the day, I can't not feel good about the reintroduction of Darius Garland. Tune in says JB Coach of the Year. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that you can really, argue against it at this point. And this might be the point where I have to get off of here. But man, I just feel great about this win tonight. And Montana, as she's showing you guys down here, she has a lot of emotion about it too. But with that said, as I always tell you guys, if you'd like to reach out to me, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you like to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of the review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. I'm gonna get out of here before Montana screams at me. She already peed on me. It's a lot going on over here, guys. But good night.